Perhaps the greatest underdog in the history of cinema, Sylvester Stallone.
It's one thing to be celebrated like a premiere of a movie, but this was very emotional.
There are movie stars, and then there are legends. But before the fame, before the red carpets, before the rocky steps in Philadelphia, there was a struggling man in New York who couldn't afford rent, who was rejected for the way he spoke, and who was told he would never become a leading actor. That man is Sylvester Stallone. His life is not just about movies. It is about resilience, belief, and refusing to let the world decide your limits. This is the complete story of a man who built himself from nothing. Sylvester Gardenzio Stallone was born on July 6, 1946, in New York City. But his struggle began the moment he was born. Doctors used forceps during delivery and accidentally severed a nerve on the left side of his face. The damage caused partial facial paralysis. His lip drooped. His speech was slurred. That imperfect face would later become one of the most recognizable faces in cinema history. But growing up, it wasn't iconic. It was something kids mocked him for. His childhood was unstable. His father was strict and physically harsh. His mother was emotionally distant and unpredictable. Their marriage was chaotic. By age 5, he had already been sent to boarding schools. He moved frequently. He got into trouble. He was expelled from multiple schools. He wasn't academically strong and socially accepted, but he was angry, lost and searching. But inside him was something powerful, a desire to prove himself. In his teenage years, Stallone discovered something unexpected, which is acting. For the first time, he felt seen. Performance gave him control, identity, and purpose. He studied drama in college and later moved to New York City to pursue acting professionally. But Hollywood didn't welcome him. Casting directors saw his face and heard his voice and said, no. They told him he looked strange. They said his speech wasn't clear and he didn't fit the image of a star. He took whatever small roles he could get. Tiny appearances. Background roles. Almost invisible parts. Money was tight. At one point, he was so broke he couldn't afford food. He had to sell his beloved dog for $40 just to survive. Imagine that level of desperation. But even then, he did not quit.
Thank you. I don't know about anyone else, but I really feel it's a privilege to be here tonight, and I'm going to try my best to... But... Can't you see I'm working?
I'm the real Apollo Creed. You stole my script. You stole my script.
Don't you see I'm working here?
No, I saw it. I watched your movie. You stole my script. All that was me. I'm the Apollo Creed.
You've been putting me on for
No,
years.
show me what you can really do. Show me what you can really do.
You know my real name, don't you?
No, show me.
Kid Salami.
Show me what you can do. No. Come on, show me. Show me. Hey, man. Nice.
In 1975, Stallone watched a boxing match between Muhammad Ali and Chuck Wepner. Wepner was not supposed to win, but he lasted almost the entire fight against the champion. That underdog spirit lit a fire inside Stallone. In just 3 days, he wrote the script for Rocky. He poured his life into it, the struggle, the rejection, the hunger, the belief. Studios loved the script, but they did not want him to play Rocky. They offered him large sums of money for the script, but only if someone else starred in it. He refused. He was broke. He had nothing. But he refused. Finally, producers agreed, on one condition, a very low budget. The film was shot quickly and cheaply. But when Rocky was released in 1976, something magical happened. Audiences connected. The film became a cultural phenomenon. It won 3 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. Stallone was nominated for Best Actor and Best Original Screenplay. Overnight, the man who was rejected became a global star. Stallone didn't stop with one success. He continued the Rocky franchise, turning it into one of the most successful film series in history. Then came another iconic character, John Rambo in First Blood. Rambo was a war veteran struggling with trauma. He was silent, explosive, haunted. The character resonated deeply during a time when America was processing the aftermath of the Vietnam War. Throughout the 1980s, he became one of the biggest action stars in the world. His films dominated the box office. His physique became legendary. His name became a brand. He was no longer the struggling actor. He was Hollywood royalty. But fame comes with pressure. Not every film succeeded. Some movies were criticized harshly. Some failed financially. The industry can be brutal, especially to action stars. He faced ridicule from critics. He endured personal heartbreak. He went through divorces. He experienced devastating loss within his family. And physically, his body paid a heavy price. Years of doing his own stunts led to serious injuries. He underwent multiple surgeries. Metal plates were inserted into his body. The man known for strength had endured incredible physical pain. There were moments his career slowed down. Moments when people thought he was finished. But Stallone had built his entire life on one principle: never stop fighting. Decades after the original Rocky, Stallone returned to the character, but in a different role. In Creed, Rocky was no longer the young fighter. He was older, battling cancer, mentoring the next generation. The vulnerability in that performance surprised critics. It wasn't about muscles anymore. It was about emotion. The world saw a different Stallone. He won a Golden Globe and received another Academy Award nomination nearly 40 years after the first Rocky. Few actors achieved that kind of longevity. He had reinvented himself again. Even in his later years, Stallone continues working. He appeared in films like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and remained active in producing and writing. He believes discipline is more important than motivation. He keeps reminders of his failures, not to feel ashamed, but to stay grounded. He once said the greatest tragedy in life is unrealized potential. He refuses to be someone who almost made it. Sylvester Stallone's life is not just a Hollywood success story. It is proof that imperfection can become identity. Rejection can become fuel. Pain can become power. He was born with a facial injury, raised in instability, rejected by the industry, mocked by critics, injured physically, challenged emotionally. Yet he kept getting up. And maybe that is why millions of people connect with him. Because deep down, everyone is fighting something. And his story reminds us, it's not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.